Alrighty friends, future emperors, jarls, and great khans of Calradia, welcome back to another of our Horse Archers Tactics episodes featuring a now veteran Khuzait force marching around Calradia looking for trouble. In this series we'll explore different and difficult scenarios and seek to emulate Genghis Khan and the other great Mongol leaders as we frustrate and decimate our foes with a hail of arrows. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially Advanced Field Command and Battlefield Tactics. And we continue on with our Khuzait series here. This Khuzait series is a side series where we are exploring and roaming the map with a Khuzait heavy army, a Khuzait troop heavy army, and we are looking for challenges. Now we're in Sturgeon territory here in this side series, and that means Epicrotia and whatnot, and we have kicked the hornet's nest, right? We did a little sieging here, and then we fled and sort of encouraged all these enemies to attack us because we're looking for a challenge. Now you get a glance of our army here. At this stage it's highly upgraded, right? We started off with sort of like 10 Khan's guards and now we have like 100, right? We have some lower level troops here that we can continue to upgrade, but at this stage this is an extremely advanced, high powerful army. As such, of course, we're looking for monster challenges. This looks to be at least 1,500 and maybe more, so we will let these fellas engage us here for this episode. Yeah, 2,800. So almost outnumbered 6-1. I'd like to try to give you a look at some of the armies we're facing here. We've got all these different mercenary armies attacking us. This guy's archer heavy. This guy's a mix, but still archer heavy. This is going to be interesting. I thought Sturgia would have a lot of infantry for this battle here. This area here, there should be a bridge to defend. Now look at our other companion, also has 50 Khan's guards. So we do. We have over 100 Khan's guards, and of course hers are even stronger because of her medicine skill. You can see she's got Vanguard Ferris and whatnot. If you were ever going to try to take on an enemy outnumbered 6-1, this is the kind of army you would try it with. Now it's interesting with them being ranged units, that might make it a very different battle than I was anticipating. I was anticipating Sturgia to have a lot of infantry, a lot of heavy cav, but I guess not for some reason, but because they have mercenaries in their army that have a lot of archers, we have a potentially different battle than I was expecting. Nevertheless, we will try to persevere and try to show you how to win in different situations here. Outnumbered 6-1 in a bridge battle against archers is a totally different animal. So I've got two small archer divisions, the 4th and 5th. The 6th is a skirmisher division. I don't really want archers in the 6th. We don't have enough archers to kind of spread around here. And the 7th and 8th are horse archer divisions, right? That's going to be the bulk of our damage. There's a lot of Khan's guards in there, high-level companions and whatnot, and that's definitely going to be our mobile and ranged killing weapon. 2nd and 3rd Cav. The 2nd is probably a unit I'm going to dismount for a bridge battle. We will use their horses to clog up the bridge, and then there's a lot of javelin throwers in the 2nd Division. 3rd Division we will probably have be the meat shields Cav that we're going to send into the bridge itself, right? And we're doing that to slow down the enemy pursuit over the bridge. So that gives you a little bit of a look into the army composition. So I want to start with my horse archers away from the bridge to begin and kind of see what develops. I don't want our horse archers being shot really badly at the beginning. Again, with their force having so many archers in it, I'm not quite certain what to expect here at the bridge. There's a possibility they don't even cross the bridge here. Normally an enemy outnumbers you 5 or 6-1 in a bridge situation like this. They will charge recklessly. They will just charge straight across, try to get their infantry and cav into your archers, and of course you can't let them do that. We've had other bridge battles in the past. This is a map I'm very familiar with because for most of my late game campaign, Epicrotia, the city here that we were sieging, has been my capital. Now this side series here, these save games sort of really don't mean anything. It's just it's a late game arena, so to speak, for us to have these various different side campaigns. This one here featuring Khuzait units. has been a very fun challenge here, very fun series for me to pick up and try to see what I can do here with Khuzait forces, right? It's very different tactically than most of the other kingdoms within the game. So they are sending some infantry. These guys seem a little overzealous to me. We'll stick a few fire arrows into their chest and see if that changes their mind. They seem to be peeling back now. We'll pick off a few of these guys here. Now, I'm tempted to bring my horse archers across the bridge here, because if I can bring my horse archers across the bridge, what we can do with them is then remove a few heads, is we can put the horse archers astride the enemy and get some flanking fire. I think if we can get them across the bridge and onto the flank of the enemy, you know, they can be kind of autonomous over there. They can be told to engage the F1, F4 command, and that'll both provide them with a layer of protection, and they will skirmish and shoot the enemy on the flank. Now, infantry divisions 1st and 6th, we'll use them on the left flank here. The enemy's very likely to have archers, and typically they have archers on their left flank. So we want to have our units mostly on our left flank. That way they're not really in line of sight of their archers. Granted, you know, we're going to have some units shot by their archers. It looks like a fireworks show here with all the different arrows firing off. But we want to minimize, obviously, how many of our guys are getting smoked by their archers. They probably outnumber us here in archers, even though our almost entire force is archery-based. That's how badly we're outnumbered here. So the light shield continues here. We've got like this taser effect of hundreds of fire arrows being fired off. You can see our 7th archers, the 7th horse archers, are over there pretty safe, right? I can have those guys retreat and pull back. I can micromanage them around from our side here in safety, and they're obviously going to provide yet another layer of attack to this enemy. Now they're vulnerable, right? If the enemy was really smart, they would just block off the bridge, trap those guys and destroy them, but that would take a human AI. So I think we're going to pull these units back here, all the units here but the horse archers, because I don't think we can survive a jousting match. I see how they're just shooting at us. I think the enemy understands that they have an archer advantage here, and they're not going to engage us across the bridge because they have that advantage, right? They're like, you know, why would we bother with that? We can just smoke these guys at range, right? So we'll skirmish here a little bit with these units here, but what I'm doing is effectively making the enemy come across the bridge. Now, here's the trick. We're not going to let them get all the way across, right? We're going to basically force them to come up to the bridge. You can see their troops are starting to move, and what we're going to do, of course, is initiate combat when they're halfway across, right? This is the equivalent of punching your opponent when he's halfway into trying to punch you. We're basically going to catch them off balance here, at least so I hope, and then unleash hell once they're halfway. They're pretty close to halfway here, right? You see how their troops, it's like they're hesitant, right? They understand probably that this is a dangerous moment for them. A smart person or a smart opponent would move their shield wall infantry across first. We'll see how they do here. We're going to start aggressively moving our units up and basically reposition as if we were starting the battle over again. The big difference, though, is now the enemy's caught with their proverbial pants down. So 7th horse archers we're going to send into the side here, because now we want all our forces impinging upon the enemy here, right? We want all of our archers firing. They're a little bit bottled up. In fact, they're very bottled up on the bridge. They've got a bunch of cav that's bottled up. They have horse archers trying to skirmish and flee, but they can't flee because there's fucking troops in their way. It's basically like rush hour in medieval style. Everybody's pissed. They're looking at fucking people in front of them. They're cursing every other fucking guy that's in their way. And very soon they're going to be cursing in vain while they're dead on the ground. So 2nd cav here, we're going to move these guys into a shield wall and we're going to dismount them. The 3rd cav, I actually want charging the enemy here. I want the enemy penned up. Now you see their archers are still pounding our horse archers over there. That's not good, but at least those guys are mobile. They're not just standing still. And once we get the rest of our archers up here, we're going to be able to inflict a horrendous crossfire on their bound up units, right? Our archers won't be able to miss. Their units are all bottled up. All these horse archers are over there. And this is going to be a lethal effect. Now I'm holding fire on some of these units because I want to make sure that the enemy is completely penned up as possible. And it's looking pretty good, right? The 8th Corps is right there. We can move those guys just a bit off to give them a better angle. What the fuck, man? My character is getting roasted this episode. I don't know, they must be hitting me just right, because I have maxed armor, and I'm already below a third. Alright, so let's start opening fire here. We'll just go straight across the board. Archers both get to fire. Skirmishers get to unload. That way they're firing javelins. 8th Corps fires. Everybody fires, right? And here comes the death spam. The enemy's piled up. They're being surrounded by horse archers over there. In fact, I can see their archers. They literally look like they're all on fire because they're being shot with fire arrows. And we can add to their misery here. I can get a few bad shots in. I'm still not very good at horse archery. It's something I need to work on. I'll probably be really good at it right at the time that the series concludes. All right, so our cav here is a little bit further than I want. It is bottling the enemy up, but I think it actually makes sense to pull these guys back. Now look at that lethal crossfire. It just looks like it's like a magic, like a fantasy game, right? Where there's just fucking flamethrowers coming in from the side there, like sorcery or some shit. Now there's some deaths, right? Our cav here is getting mauled. I see heavy spearmen killed our cav, but I have to do that at least for a little bit because otherwise their infantry and cav are going to zerg our archers. Let's drag these guys back a bit. If we can put them towards the center of the bridge, our units will be able to do more damage because they'll be closer to the enemy. Our guys will be less vulnerable. And again, I'm going to continue to sort of skirmish and micromanage our horse archers off to the side there. The death spam is going pretty good. It's not going quite as well as I had hoped, and part of the reason is that the enemy is really countering a lot of our shots, right? There's a lot of, you see the flames coming our way too. Our guys are caught on fire and shit because the enemy's got a lot more archers than I anticipated. There's a break in the action here. I can't tell if that's because the infantry's pulling back. I really anticipated the enemy trying to crush us with infantry, but it's odd. This Sturgeon force just does not have the typical monster heavy infantry, infantry vanguard that you would expect. And of course, they are slightly blocked up, right? The third cav is right in the way of the enemy trying to pursue us. So now these javelin throwers, they get told to unleash hell. Every single horseman is going to get rocked from his horse. I think the javelins actually flame too, which is, I guess it's cool, but obviously we're miles from realism here. 240 archers, 130 infantry. So that even though we've scorched a lot of their archers, they still have way more archers than infantry here. I actually think it makes sense to attack these motherfuckers. 130 infantry. Let's charge these fucking assholes. 130 infantry. We've got at least 100 heavy horse between our horse archers, 3rd and 2nd division. Let's send in our heavy infantry here. I've got a few guys over here getting scorched off their horse. But with archer support, I think the enemy's a little bit rattled already. Let's try and devastate this archer rank. We can come in here and try to cut down as many of these archers as we can before they start to reform. I don't know, they may just fight toe-to-toe here, right? We're still outnumbered. I mean, even though, what did I say, they have like 390 total troops? I mean, look at this Zerg, right? It's a massive amount of troops. But their archers are trying to reform, right? So we're going to ride these fucks down. I've got 2 horse archer divisions and a heavy cav division following me. Now here come their reinforcements, right? We're going to have to try to screen these guys. It's not going to work very well. God, I'm almost dropped already. The good news is that even if I get dropped, I guess I should say when I get dropped, I will be able to take over another character because for this series, I'm using the RTS mod. I'm not using this RTS mod for all my series. For some of my other series, I'm just playing a single character, both for the strain of it and the realism. Battlefield Commander Napoleon gets shot to death. He can't just be like, you know what? I'm going to take over your body here and continue commanding, right? It would be catastrophic for your army. But nevertheless, for this series, we're going to use the RTS mod. And so I should be able just to pick up right where I left off, when I get dropped. I mean, look at this onslaught we're facing. Well, I think we've done our damage here. I think it's now actually time to pull back. They've got tons of heavy cav charging us. Of course, their archers are going to get set up soon, and we're going to start taking serious losses. Now, retreat is also going to be considerable losses here, but it's just the price you pay. When you sally out to attack an enemy in this situation, you can expect 20, 30 losses as you pull back. I'm going to pull back a lot of our archers just to this first level here, but I think eventually we'll go all the way back to the mountain hills up there. I've got an idea, in fact, for the next phase of this. They still have so many fucking archers that I think we may need to do. It's a little bum rush strategy. I don't actually have a great name for it. I guess the closest thing in military tactics on a grand scale, grand strategy would be a blitz. But it's basically where you bring the enemy into a location where they can't quite attack you, but they're close to you, and usually you need a ridge for that. And then as you come over that ridge, you bring units around to the side, our highly mobile horse archers, and you fucking just totally go ballistic aggressive on the enemy, close in on both sides, and obviously, as the blitz indicates, you try to fucking blitz the enemy, right? The NFL, the football, American football term for it is where you send all your defenders to try to sack the quarterback. It's that kind of idea, right? It's very risky. The timing has to be right, and of course, if you have even one step off, it'll fail. But we'll see what we can do here. Our guys are still being shot as we regroup here. I don't think the enemy will pursue very strongly because I don't actually think they have a lot of cav at this time. In fact, I see they have 54 cav. They had like 200 at the beginning of the battle. I don't see much pursuit other than the flaming arrows trying to kill our guys on the way out. They're still firing in volleys. Of course, my own character, now I'm down to an absolute sliver. So it's a matter of when he's knocked off his horse. And again, we're forcing the enemy to come across the bridge. The enemy attacked us. That's a critical part of Bannerlord. That basically initiative determines a lot. In this case, it requires their forces to come attack us. I see they got some horse archers here. These fucking assholes shoot you right off your horse, motherfucker. Because the enemy's forced to attack us, right, that changes the dynamics of this battle, right? That means that they have to come to us instead of us coming to them. And that is a critical, well, god damn it. What do we got here? I want a character I'm familiar with. Gweth, here, this is perfect. She's got arrows. Well, she's only got 4 arrows, but she can ride a horse and she's got a 2-handed hammer. This is going to work. Critically, she has like 2/3 of her health left. All right, so we're going to tuck all these units underneath this hill here. And I'll finish my point. Every single unit we're tucking on this side of the ridge. In fact, I'm going to split the 7th into the 8th, or the 8th into the 7th, I should say. See the enemies coming this way. That's because they attacked us. They're required to come to us in this battle. If you were at a bridge situation and you want the enemy to come to you, you need them to attack you, right? If you're at the bridge and you attack them, in other words, you're the aggressor, you initiate combat, you have to cross the bridge, right? This is a critical point. And of course, most of you veterans watching this know this, but there are a lot of new guys that are getting interested in the channel, and I would say keep in mind that battle initiative. If the enemy's just sitting at the very edge of the map and not attacking you, that's because you attacked, right? It's very rare. Every once in a while, you'll see basically the AI get bugged. The AI will attack you, and then it won't attack you. Once it gets on the battlefield, they'll just sit there. And apart from shaking your fist at your computer monitor or TV screen, there's nothing you can do about that. That's rare, though. Most of the time the enemy attacks you like this situation, they will then follow up that attack with aggression in the battle, right? We've made them come to us here. Now, hopefully you can see what we got going on here. I know it's dark. This whole episode's been in the dark. I kind of like it for the fire arrow effect, but I am aware that it can be a little hard to see. What we are doing is sitting just over this ridge. You see they can't shoot us until we go over it. In fact, they can't do anything. They can't attack us in melee. They can't do anything until they come over this ridge. And when they do, we're going to maul them with archers, with cav, etc. Trying not to get fucking killed here. I don't have my dodging shoes on today. I'm getting fucking smoked with whatever character I use. They're sending in this small cav wave. We're just going to be patient. I don't see any of the other troops coming over. Some of our units are sort of engaging their cav, and as soon as they go over the edge, of course, they get smoked. God, I received 30 damage cut to the neck. It just seems like every hit by the enemy is catching me right in the jugular in this episode. Now what I'm doing here is I'm moving our archers back and the horse archers to the edge, because these are going to be the units. Look at how many of them are like Khan's guards. These are going to be the units that we sweep in and envelop the enemy. As soon as the enemy shows any sign of coming over that ridge, we'll open fire and then surround him with forces, right? We're going to attack him on multiple flanks and blitz him, right? This is going to be, for a lot of you, sort of the first example I make on the channel of a blitz. In fact, here they come. They're starting to become vulnerable. Open fire. Here comes the flames in their face. Now it's time to drag the horse archers around and surround and destroy their archers. These fucking trees in the dark. It's already bad enough with these little tiny trees. In the dark, they're a nightmare. Now their infantry's coming over, their archers are not. That's not going to matter. We're about to sweep through their archers. You can see our cav following me, all the glowing orbs over their head. And some of those guys will get killed for sure. They have a huge amount of archers, but now they're impacting the enemy archers. They're not going to like that. In fact, look at them already scrambling. They're trying to find a safe ground, and we're not going to let them, right? We're going to pursue these insolent archer fucks to the edge of this map. In fact, now that they're separated from their reinforcement spot here, I think we'll cut them off at the bridge, keep these guys sort of in this pen of death, and destroy every single last one of these guys. This will be almost a complete annihilation of these archers here. Now you see some deaths as our infantry meets their infantry, right? They still had a strong infantry corps, but I think they should be okay. Now we're just we're destroying as many of these guys as we can. And we're racing to the bridge, right? We want to cut them off at the bridge here. We want to mow these guys down en masse. They're sprinting out of here, right? These guys are like guys at a sporting event in one of your American cities where muggings and stuff like that are common. One of the keys to that is to sprint to your car after the game is over, right? And I I'm joking, but it's only slightly, right? Like in heavy crime areas, you just run to your car and you'll be safe. I can't ever remember hearing someone who got mugged and he was running and like some guy ran behind him and mugged him. Alright, so our units are moving up here. My archers are kind of lollygagging. That's because there's troops in between here and they're on attack. So our archers are sort of skirmishing with their units that are still trapped in the valley here. But this is what I wanted, right? All their units that are trapped here in the valley are dead men. Right, they can't get out. They have quite a few, and they're shooting a lot of our guys in the back and stuff like that. Well, we're outnumbered 6-1, right? 5-6-1. You're just never just gonna waltz over an enemy in this situation. But the death spam looks really good. So I've got a cav unit blocking up the bridge here. The enemy is pushing right through it, but this side, at least, the enemy is taking a serious beating. Now we got to get these archers in place here because the enemy infantry that's over here, I don't have a huge amount of infantry at this stage to meet their infantry, right? With the Khuzait, that's one of the weaknesses. You just don't have an infantry vanguard frequently, so you got to get creative. In this situation, I can dismount a cav unit, but I'm also just going to get off myself, right? Look at their archers they're all compressed, so they're getting absolutely scorched by archers. Like, our guys can't miss. You miss one guy and it hits the guy behind him. We'll move in our handful of infantry here. It's not very many. And I just don't feel effective on a horse with her. She's just is not. Of course, I'm using this clumsy hammer. She's got one of these hammers that's fun to just beat the shit out of the enemy with. I'm going to join the infantry here. Much more effective. Of course, her health is already low. Let's see what we can do in here, though. They're getting smoked with arrows. And now let's wade into them like a savage barbarian. It continues to be a light show. Okay, so I have 14 archers here moving up. It's not very many. They have so many troops here. Look at the death spam though, right? It's heavily green. Outnumbered, right? What would Napoleon say? Good. That just means that our archers can't miss. Let's charge these archers here. Let's get these Khan's guards charging too. I've got heavy cav that's standing right here. Let's jam these guys into the bridge as well. Now let's pull these archers back. I want these guys on the side for enfilade fire. Give them hell. Open fire. Let's push this infantry. Let's destroy these guys pursuing them here and let these guys just unleash hell. This should work beautiful. You see the flames already coming out of these arms. On the far side, we've got horse archers raking them. Let's push these cav divisions to the other side here. That'll push units right up into the face of the enemy archers, preventing them from shooting. She's just clubbing horses to death. I've got some infantry bearing down here, but I don't have elite infantry. This Khuzait force just doesn't have elite infantry. I've got like Lake Rat Wreckers. I've got good infantry. I just don't have like tons of legionnaires and whatnot. She is certainly an elite infantry woman, right? She is just mauling people one after another, one-shotting almost every archer. Let's get these guys spread out and on this hill here, right up to the top of that hill so they can shoot down onto the bridge. So far, so good, but I know we're going to run out of ammo, right? And then the question is, what next? Outnumbered 6-1, where you're out of ammo, it can be very, very difficult at that stage. Still, while the arrows are flying, right, we're going to take full advantage of this. Now, they've got infantry pressing across the bridge, right? Our small infantry and cav divisions have been annihilated. And Gweth is down to a sliver, too. Even with the RTS mod, I'm still getting smoked. Is this all the troops I have left? I have 150 troops left. Well, that's what happens when you start with 500 against 2,800 or whatever. Let's start kiting. Let's start moving archers back and horse archers back at the same time here. I'm going to charge the horse archers. That way anybody who's out of ammo will actually get in there with their glaive. Damn it. Alright, we're down to Olguna. This is another one of my archer characters. She's got a small little fast sword and a shield. But at least we're still upright, right? We are still commanding. We're going to continue to kite with the archers here. Attack enemies that are attacking your archers. Right, we're going to chase them from behind and continue to try to give the enemy crossfire here. Horse bowmen on one side, archers on the other. We'll get on a horse here. This is the perfect song here to resume being fucking a Mongol leader. And now it's a war of attrition, right? Can we kill whatever this is, 800 troops with our last 100? I guess we got 130 looking at it closely. I want a horse. Give me a horse. There you go. Give me that. Come on, can't get on. Flaming arrows continue to fly. Now the enemy's bringing infantry in, and they're coming up in a shield wall, of course. Let's get them crossfired. Let's get archers on the far ridge. We'll put our main archer bank on the opposite ridge. That should give us some good crossfire here. She can't get on. There we go. I got a horse. All right. They got a ton of archers shooting us. I see a lot of flames coming out of the enemy. This is a really unusual sturgeon force. They got more infantry now than archers, but they still have a lot of archers. In fact, they have as many archers as we do. My job now to just cut down as many of these can. I can also drag my horse archers through these guys, right? That's one of the benefits of horse archers, is they can just truck right through here, knocking guys around. I'm at the edge of the map here, though, so I can't really protect my archers very well, right? These archers eventually are going to get ran over by enemy infantry. This is inevitable. Fuck. I just got taken off my horse in the middle of a zerg of enemies. Motherfucker. Trying to get this infantry off our fucking archers. Alright, let's spread out these horse archers again. We've only got like 20 or 30 archers left, so we're starting to get in a bad way here. And of course our Consguards are starting to run out of ammo. Let's get them on the side here. How many enemy forces are we dealing with? It's over 500 still. Fuck. The good thing though is these are low-level units, right? Or lower-level units. They're still blocking like a motherfucker. Of course, sturgeon forces, they just block everything. When you're playing with sturgeons, you love it. When you're fighting against them, it's a nightmare. I'm getting fucking surrounded here, zerged by the enemy. Let's charge these boys. Let's have the archers attack and charge and barrel in here. These are mediocre infantry. I think they can kill these guys. Well, we're losing some, but this shit's inevitable. Alright, spread these guys back out. Have them open fire. Let's get our archers set up on this ridge and horse archers on the opposite ridge. I think I'll start dragging these guys around. Find myself another horse here. This has been a total war of attrition, and this battle is tight. The enemy, they have 490 infantry. They've got to be getting down to the lower level infantry. They've got 92 archers. So it's 600 against our 100. And we're starting to get low. Starting to get low on ammo. I also have ghetto infantry, or archers in here now. We start to have tier 2, tier 3 archers of our own. If this was Khan's guards, I would say we had a good chance to win, but it's not. It's going to be tight. Well, of course, there could be more enemies behind this. This is a lot of recruits. It's a huge amount of forces, though, and it's not all recruits. I don't think those bowmen are going to be able to survive with so many infantry blowing in. Let's continue to wrap around here with horse archers. If they stay mobile, that'll help avoid a lot of damage from the enemy archers. Yeah, our archers here are annihilated. There's just too many infantry. And there's no room to kite. They were at the back of the map. Now we're in a true war of attrition, right? We've got, I don't know, 600 enemy and like 80 horse archers just circling them. I've got enough health to be flying in here and interrupting, smashing guys in the face. But she's not a beast. This is not one of my highest level characters. You know, she's doing 8, 10 damage with her horse instead of 40. And sure, her weapon is also obviously not really well designed to fight from horse, right? She's got a short sword and a shield. And the enemy seems never ending. They're pouring across the bridge. What is that, the fucking 4th horse I've lost in this episode? Let's get them across the other direction here. We can use the bridge somewhat to constrict the enemy, to tighten them into a tight area. This does not look great. I've got 7 heavy horse here. Getting zerged by recruits. Recruits will kill you though, right? As anybody who's played this game quite a bit knows, they'll beat your ass down. They'll hammer you with the sickle. Guys will smash you with the hammer. The Battanian volunteers especially are a pain in the ass. They'll club you with those hammers. I've had them do like 50 damage to me. I mean, they do major damage because you know, they have the blunt weapon. It does more damage to powerful army or armor. That is a fuckload. This looks like the zombie apocalypse, especially with the flames. We're starting to get a little sunrise here, or a little bit of dawn, and we're going to try to survive with this 30 horse here. They still have 450 troops, and we have 38. All right, let's see if we can move 2 different divisions here. We might be able to get some crossfire. But to say we're in a bad spot right now is an understatement. Now we're outnumbered worse than 10 to 1, and we're getting low on ammo. And it's a huge octopus-like zerg. It just looks like a giant spiral of troops in the middle of the battlefield here. These guys are getting penned up against the rocks. Fuck. And I don't see our units shooting anymore. We're either out of ammo. Motherfucker coming up with this spear. We're either out of ammo or really low on ammo. This is where I wish I had Zuvan swinging his polearm. I'd be raking these peasants. It's the archers that are the problem, though, right? Just peasants alone wouldn't be a problem, but they still have like 100 guys shooting fire arrows at us. Fucking assholes. We are down to a sliver. I just looked up at the power bar for a second. Doesn't look good. I love a good finish, but I don't think we have quite enough troops here to make a good finish. I think we're pretty fucked. It's 400 guys and we've got like now 20 or some shit. We're taking off some heads though. We're making them pay. These lower level troops in Bannerlord actually do a pretty good job. They stood my horse up with a pitchfork, and then the other guys came in and tried to club me. It's pretty good. Like you gotta admire these little peasants, their effort. Of course, I had a lot of fun with the Peasants Revolt, fighting people with peasants. That series, I think we got to 13 or 14 episodes, was a lot of fun. If you haven't checked that out yet, that's basically a series where we roam around with mediocre level troops, including peasants and militia and shit like that, and we challenge all of Calradia in a big, long series of battles where tactics were, of course, essential. But very fun to beat down like legionary and shit like that with peasants and militia. Of course, that's what's happening here, right? Our noble lords and Khan's guards and whatnot are being mown down here by recruits. But ultimately, this episode, it does look like this battle is over. This episode was a lot of fun. It also is a very different battle than any I can remember fighting recently, where it's a bridge battle. They still had a Khan's guard or a Battanian fian champ in there. Yeah, we've lost. But the enemy had a lot of ranged units, right? That's a very atypical situation in a bridge battle. And I think all things considered here, this is, I'm very content with the results of this battle here, right? 2,600, actually, I think it was almost 3,000 sturgeons. And with our army of 600, it looks like we took out 90% of them anyways. Making a glorious end to it here, a little death ride. All right, well, so we can continue this series here. I don't know how many I'll do. That'll really depend on you guys, right? You guys need to comment. You guys need to provide feedback for all the series, right? Of course, when there's no or very few comments on an episode, I know you guys aren't as thrilled about it. That's a message without saying anything, right? But if you want to see more of this kind of episode, if you want to see more of Khuzait tactics, or you want to see something specific, all you guys got to do is use that little comment box. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these battles, more of our Khuzait series. Of course, I always ask people, please hit that like button. It takes a quarter second. It helps people come to the channel. I appreciate you fellas, and I will see you guys next time.